Sheesh, that is a beautiful looking bike. Yo, welcome back to the channel, boys and girls. Today's actually a very serious topic because I wanted to discuss with you guys the warranty process with Giant. Now, some of you guys, yo, what's up, Mark? Good to see you, looking good. Anyway, I just happened to see one of my buddies, Mark, out on the road. Shout out to you, Mark. But anyway, like I was saying, today's a very important topic, guys, because I wanted to discuss with you the warranty process from Giant. Now, for some of you guys that follow me on social media or have seen me on the forums, you know that for about 2 months, I was dealing with a warranty issue with Giant. So let's just go right into the topic. So you guys been following this channel. I've been building bikes now for about 3 years, and so far I built about 15 or 16 bikes at home. Never had a problem with any issues as far as frames cracking, steer tubes cracking, nothing like that. And so this bike you see behind me, which is my Giant Propel Advanced Pro, this is more or less my dream bike. It cost me about $4,000 all in for the frame set, for the saddle, and for the stem, and I was really excited to get this bike built last fall. And at this point, I've ridden about 850 miles or so not that long, only a couple of months. So anyway, as the winter was approaching, I did my usual routine maintenance and inspection on all my bikes, as I always do, and it turns out that the steer tube on my Propel was cracked, which is crazy that it was cracked only after 850 miles. Now, I don't know whose fault it was, if it was a defect from the factory or if it was user error. Like I said, at this point, I've been building bikes for 3 years at home, 15, 16 bikes. So I was like, no problem. I just spent $4,000 on this frame set, and I'll just go down to my local bike shop, who's an authorized dealer for Giant, and get the steer tube warranted. Now, after I gave him a call and I dropped off the bike shop said it should be no problem. We'll contact Giant and we will have a new steer tube / fork sent out to you. Now, this is where everything started to go downhill. So after I dropped off my bike at the local Giant authorized bike shop, they gave me a call back and said that Giant is going to deny my warranty claim when it comes to the cracked steer tube. The reason being is because they said that it was user error on my part. Now, quick side note on this story. Now, the local bike shop, they were caught in the middle of this, and I'm sure they were probably on my side as a customer, being that I just spent $4,000 with them, but they were caught in the middle of it, and so they didn't really have a lot to say. All they do is just report what the condition of the bike is, and then they send it back to Giant's warranty department. Wicked. So basically what Giant said to me was they said they're not going to cover the cost of the replacement fork, and that if I wanted to get a replacement, I would have to pay for it. It was about $500. And the craziest part is the color that I wanted, which is just matte black for the fork. They said that that color was out indefinitely. Can you imagine that? A matte black fork from one of the biggest, if not the largest bike brand in the world doesn't have inventory of a matte black fork. Now, I do know that when it comes to inventory, that a lot of the bigger brands, they do have separate inventories for their warranted parts and components versus their point of sale frames. Like, so for example, if you have to warranty out your frame set from Specialized, they're only going to give you a black colored frame. They're not going to give you whatever color you purchased at the time of the sale. So nonetheless, they said that I can pay for a new fork at cost $500, and that I would have to select a color that did not match my frame set, which is completely insane. So at this point, I'm like, I don't know what to do. The bike shop, like I said, they're caught in the middle, and they said maybe you should reach out to maybe one of the reps regionally for Giant to see if you could sort of escalate the situation, because there's nothing that they can do. Now, if you have been following me on social media, you know that I sent out a post, or I should say an Instagram story, a couple of months ago saying, I don't know what to do. I don't want to spend $500 for a brand new fork, and I'm definitely not going to spend that for a fork that's not going to match my bike, which is insane. Now, again, I've spent $4,000 all in for this frame set. So thankfully, one of my local cycling buddies here in the Chicagoland, he put me in contact with one of the regional warranty reps from Giant. So I sent them an email. I was trying to be polite and professional about the email, and I made sure to include in the email that I completely understand if there are some financial implications when it comes to this warranty process. I just want my bike fixed. I want a new fork, and I want it to be in the color that matches my bike. And so after they replied to me, the rep basically said, this is your fault according to warranty for Giant, and that you're just gonna have to pay the price and get a fork that's just not going to match your frame. So I was like, what the heck? I still don't know what to do. And then magically, a couple of days later, I get a follow-up email from the warranty rep, and he says, you know what, we're gonna make an exception for you this time. Now, I'm not gonna show you what the email said, but basically he had said that we don't normally do this, but we're gonna make an exception for you, and we're going to go above and beyond what we would normally do for these warranty cases. Now, keep in mind, as far as I know, if you make a purchase from Giant for a frame set, they're supposed to, or from Giant regarding a frame set, they're supposed to warranty and cover the bike at least for the first 2 years after purchase. And I figure if Giant offers up a frame set alone option on their website, to me, that means that they are expecting customers to be able to build the bike at home rather than only having the bike built at a local bike shop that's represented by Giant. Because part of what they were saying was, since the crack steer tube was simply user error, maybe I had tightened the compression plug too tight or over torqued it, whatever the case may be, they're saying since the bike was not built at a authorized Giant shop, that it was my fault and I was basically out of luck. So I get this email, like I said, they said that they had a change of heart and that they are going to offer up a brand new fork at no cost to me. Shipping is free, and that they're gonna send it off to my local bike shop to have them do all of the work, and it would be no cost to me. Now at this point, I'm thinking, okay, this is pretty cool. However, in that email, the warranty rep also said that, however, like I said initially, the rep, that is, he said that unfortunately, because matte black is out indefinitely, I'm gonna have to personally send a special order to Giant's factory in order for them to make a matte colored fork, just for me. And then in the meantime, I can still select a different fork color, and then they'll just swap it out once the fork arrives. So I'm thinking that seems kind of strange, right? To basically have to do the new fork install twice, right? Meaning that in the interim, I could purchase a non-matching fork, and then when the matte black fork came in, that they wouldn't charge me for that, and then the local bike shop would install that fork. So after I selected a non-matching fork, they said, okay, it's gonna be about 4 weeks for the non-matching color, right? So again, it's gonna be about a month, and I still don't have a matching fork. So I waited about 5 weeks to follow up with the Giant rep, and I said, hey, any updates on this fork? And lo and behold, he says, oh yeah, by the way, this is his response. He says, the matte black fork was sent to your local Giant bike shop, and rather than sending out the non-matching color fork, we actually were able to send you the matte black fork. So contact your local bike shop for any further information. And that was it. So the rep from Giant, the warranty claims guy, he wasn't rude. I wouldn't say he was pleasant. He was pretty curt. He was pretty neutral. And I mean, we're not friends. It is business at the end of the day, so I don't expect him to be super duper polite. But it is kind of weird how the feeling that he gave me was that this is my fault. We're gonna do you a solid, but we don't normally do this, and that you basically are lucky. Now again, keep in mind, I've only ridden this bike about 850 miles, and I've only had it for a couple of months. So then I contact my local bike shop. They said, yeah, no problem. We're gonna go ahead and swap out the brand new fork, which is matte black, as you can see. They comped you for the fork, so there will be no charge to you. And then there was only just a nominal fee, because basically, Giant, they comped the bike shop the majority of the costs for the repairs and labor, and then I only had to pay myself just a couple of dollars. So all in all, the whole entire process from door to door took about 7 weeks total, basically 2 months for everything. And so this whole entire ordeal for this warranty process is pretty interesting. In fact, it's even a little bit weird. Now, some things that I do want to make clear is, number one, like I said, this is my dream bike. The reason being is because even though in Chicagoland, where Specialized is king, and there are plenty of people around here rocking tarmac SL7s and SL8s, as much as I like those frames, I just want it to be a little bit different. But to be quite honest with you, knowing the managers at these flagship shops for Specialized here in Chicago, I know that they have fantastic customer service, and I know that when there are issues that arises, I know that they do a good job of taking care of their customers and making them feel welcome, because these are cyclists locally here in Chicago that everyone's going to see, and it's going to be a good look and good marketing for Specialized. And for myself, being that this is the first more or less expensive frame set that I've ever purchased, and again, yes, I got this frame a little bit for review, but really it was just a passion project of mine. And my assumption was, I'm spending $4,000. Why am I having to escalate on my own beyond the bike shop in order to get a warranted fork replacement? It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, the most important question through all this is, would I recommend the Giant Propel at the time of this video? Well, when it comes to the customer experience thus far with Giant, I am actually a bit indifferent on this whole entire thing. Like I said, with the warranty process, it was pretty quirky to me. It didn't make a lot of sense, but I am just happy that my bike is finally fixed. Now, when it comes to the bike itself, the bike is phenomenal. The fit and finish on this bike is really, really good. Actually, speaking of fit and finish, one weird quirk is that the replacement fork that they sent me, yes, it matches the paint job perfectly, but I noticed that the caliper mounts on the fork, they were not faced as nicely as the original fork, so it did take a little bit longer to align the calipers to the rotor, but nonetheless, the job got done. The bike is plenty stiff. It just dances really well when you are out of the saddle on some punches and things like that. This bike is the best bike that I have reviewed thus far. And I have been fortunate to review a good amount of high quality, or I should say solid value bikes, like the Windspace T1500 Aero frame set, my Tavello Attack, my Specialized LA Sprint. This bike for sure feels like a premium bike for what you are paying for. So no questions about the bike itself. It's just that the overall customer experience that I've gone through thus far, it's just really, really quirky. And even though I've only ridden this bike about 850 miles, the most epic ride I've ever done in my whole entire life was on this bike last fall. I did a 150-mile ride in one shot down from Chicago down to central Illinois, and it was so much fun. A lot of suffering in the headwinds, but this bike definitely got the job done, and that was why I was super excited to have a bike like this for a ride like that. It was very comfortable. It just dances up the hills if you're doing a little bit of punches. It's plenty stiff when you want to put the power down as well, and for sure this is a bike that you get a lot of value for what it is. And I'm just happy that I am able to review bikes such like these. So yeah, I am pretty indifferent with Giant. I don't regret the purchase of the bike because the bike is phenomenal. And I have heard on the internet that other people too have had problems with their fork. And this is what makes this whole entire ordeal really weird to me, is I'm not making this video to basically shame Giant. I'm not here to fight with Giant on whose fault it is. And even when I initially emailed the warranty rep from Giant, I didn't admit fault. I didn't even say that it was Giant fault. I just said that I understand that there are some implications that I will probably have to pay something, and that I just want my bike fixed. And so it's weird to me that for a company or a brand as large as Giant, you mean to tell me you guys didn't have a matching matte black fork? You didn't even have that as a spare? It's really, really weird to me. So I just want to let everyone know out there, just kind of a little bit of a PSA, a buyer's beware on dealing with Giant. Now don't get me wrong, the majority of people that I've spoken to have had a great experience with Giant, which is part of the reason why I purchased the frame set myself. And so I might just be in the minority here, but I did just want to keep you guys informed that this is where my bike has been for the last couple of months. It's basically been sitting at a bike shop for 2 months and I haven't been able to ride it until today. Today's the first ride back. So let's go ahead and do just a very quick rundown on some of the things that I've changed on this bike since the last time that you've seen it. So of course we got the prime bike components, 38 centimeters wide. We have the 140 millimeter length stem from Giant. This thing is like 350 bucks. Incredible. What else we got? And then the main thing is I've actually changed out the wheel set. So far with these this Giant Propel frame set, I've used my Craft Racing Work CS 5060 wheels, creme de la creme. I've also used my Windspace Hyper, the D67 wheels. And so right now I'm currently using with these is the Elite Drive 65D wheels, the official wheel sponsors of GCN. Yeah, they're super duper deep paws. Not so great in the crosswind, but they are very aero, and they are a little bit more comfortable when you compare it to the first generation of the Windspace Hyper 65s as well. So like I said, guys, I love this bike a lot. It's just a shame that I kind of had to deal with all of this stuff. But let me know in the comments down below, is 2 months a typical turnaround time when it comes to dealing with warranty claims from the big brands? I don't really know. I hope I never have to speak to that rep again, because obviously if I am reaching out to him, that means there's another problem. And so I just hope that I have no more problems with this frame. Absolutely love this bike. It's a gorgeous looking bike, and I'm just happy that I'm at a point in my YouTube career that I'm able to even review bikes like this. So that's going to wrap up today's video, guys. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down below. If you want to go ahead and shame me and say this whole entire thing is 100% my fault, and you are a Giant fanboy, and you want to just basically make me feel like it's all my fault and I'm a knucklehead, let me know that down in the comments as well too. And I'm gonna check you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.